Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my beloved sisters. Today, inshallah, we'll carry on talking about the second major area, which is Alhalk. And we mentioned that this area is classified into three places: the middle part of the throat, the top part of the throat, and the deepest part of the throat. We already finished the first two from the bottom, the deepest part of the throat. And as I explained to you, this is the place where we have the letters Hamza and Ha produced. And this is, as we mentioned, is found on the larynx place. So the Hamza and Ha are produced directly from the larynx. How about the Ha and the Ain? Ain and Ha. In this area, we have the Ain and Ha, which is the middle part of the throat. We have the Ain and the Ha letters produced. And as we mentioned, it is above the larynx and below the uvula. And this is the place from where we have the Ha and the Ain. So this is the second place. And the one we are taking today, inshallah, is the third area, or in the third part in this area, which is the closest part of the throat to the mouth, or what we call the top of the throat. And we can find it directly below the uvula. Directly below the uvula. This is where we have it. You see, this is the uvula. If I want to clarify this, I'll say this is the uvula here. And we can find the letters Ghain and Ha in here, on this yellow part I did. So it is below the uvula, directly below it. Yeah. So this is the place where we produce the Ghain and Ha. We call it the top of the throat, or the closest part of the throat to the mouth. You have to know that we are not producing the Ghain and the Ha from the tongue at all. We are not using the tongue. But as I told you, this is the place below the uvula, and it is not the back part of the tongue. So we are before this, we are below the tongue. Okay, so if you want to produce the Ghain and the Ha, you have to differentiate between them, as I told you before. If they are coming from the same place, so the thing that we can differentiate between them with is their characteristics. For the Ha, there is something which is the air. We produce air, or what we call alhams, with the Ha. And you can use your hand, put in front of your mouth while you do you see there is a lot of air coming out. While we do the Ghain, you don't find this. No air is produced. So this is the main difference between the Ghain and the Ha. Also, the Ghain and the Ha, you should know that there is something special about them. For the Ha, it is not good to have the snoring sound while producing the Ha, like that. This is not good. But in order to have the correct sound of the Ha, you should rely only on the back part of the throat, as I told you, or the part we just mentioned, just below the uvula. Because if you didn't produce from there and you produced it from the middle of the throat, you will have that sound which we don't want to have it, which we call the snoring sound, like That sound is coming from the middle part of the throat. And also, you should not press strongly on the Ha. Okay, it is not of the strong letters that we should press strongly on it, but we have to leave it to run, not like the Hamza, for example, that we do the cutting of the sound on it, but we leave to run for a while. So don't press strongly, because if you did that also, this may be one of the reasons that sound, the snoring sound, will be formed. So we don't want to make it like that. No, okay. But we press gently, okay, and make sure we are using the back part, not the middle part of the throat, but the closest part of the throat to the mouth, as I told you, exactly the place where we produce the Ha. The other thing related to the Ghain is it includes gargling, but not too much. You know the gargling sound when you say like the baby doing? The Ghain is like that, and this is something specific to the Ghain. We can differentiate between the Ghain and the Ha this way, which is to show that sound, the gargling sound, But you have to do that also in a moderate level, not very strong gargling, because if you did that a very loud gargling, this is not going to be correct. And if he didn't do the gargling at all, also it is not going to be correct. So how to control this? If you are going to do the wrong thing, which is to produce a loud gargling, this is happening because you are using the back part of the tongue. And as I told you, we are not using the tongue at all. We are just using the closest part of the throat to the mouth. So we are not relying on the tongue. If you relied on the tongue, you will have this loud gargling. Like that. This is not good. Okay? And on the other hand, if you rely on the middle part of the throat, this will not show the gargling sound at all. It's not going to be clear. So you don't want to do it from the middle part of the throat. You don't want to do it from the back part of the tongue. You just need to do it from the closest part of the throat to your mouth. This is how we fix the gargling sound with the letter Ghain. I told you it is there is a gargling sound, but it is not very loud and also it is not escaping. We have to show it. Now let's see the mistakes we expect the student to have with the two letters Ghain and Kha produced from the closest part of the throat to the mouth. Okay, especially when the Ghain is followed by the letter Qaf or the letter Ain. Here, the students are not clarifying the Ain and the gargling sound is not clear. I will give you an example for that. لا تزغ قلوبنا. Here, you see, maybe the student is not showing the Ain at all, this gargling sound. Maybe he's saying لا تزغ قلوبنا. He's not showing the Ain in that case if it is followed by Qaf. Also, in case that it is followed by Ain, some students may not clarify the Ain. Like, أفرغ علينا. Here, the student may read like, أفرغ علينا, and he's not going to show the sound of the Ain clearly. Also, from the things that will help you to clarify the Ain is to leave to run for a while, not to cut the sound on the Ain by any way. أفرغ. So you leave it for a while to run, and this will help you clarify it. If there is a sakin letter after the Ghain, make sure you don't mix with the Kha, and this is very common. Many are saying yakhsha instead of yaghsha. So how can I make them correct this? As I told you, how we can differentiate between the Ghain and the Kha. There should not be any air coming with the Ghain, while the Kha, we should produce air. The Ghain also is including the gargling sound, ya, and also I'm leaving it to run. This way, inshallah, you will not be mixing between the Ghain and the Kha. You have to make sure the Ghain is heavy, especially if there is an alif following it. Like Ghafir, you don't say Ghafir. No, you make sure your Ghain is always heavy. How about the Kha mistakes? Many of the students are pronouncing it like light. They say Khalidin. Khalidin. While it should be Khalidin. Okay, you have also to take care if there is sheen after it, because you may change it to Ghain. You remember the mistake we just corrected, Yaghsha and Yakhsha? It may come the opposite, like Takhsha, and you change to Ghain. So the mixing between the Ghain and the sheen, especially, the Ghain and the Kha, especially in these words, Yaghsha and Yakhsha, make sure you differentiate between them. Okay. So, in case of takhsha, we should not change to Ghain. And as I told you, there should be air produced, because this is Kha and the Kha is including air. And also, this snoring sound is not very loud, as I told you, or we don't apply this, what we call in Arabic, al-shakhir. Okay. And in case of Kha, also the Kha is from the letters which is running a lot more than the Ghain. So we say yakhsha, air is produced and time is given for the Kha to run more. So this is the way we can differentiate between the Ghain and the Kha in the pronunciation depending on their makhraj. Inshallah, we'll send you many words to practice on and to make sure you don't have any of those mistakes. And this is in our WhatsApp course we are doing already. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.